and welcome to another episode of Recovery for the Narcissist. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Perry, and I'm so happy to be here with you to share with you the topic of the day, which is, yes, you can change. Now, if you're just tuning into this podcast for the first time, it's important that I let you know that this podcast is a direct message specifically for anyone who experiences or believes that they experience narcissistic tendencies or behaviors or traits and would like to work on it. Now, the first thing to consider is that sometimes we begin to believe what everyone around us says, and currently what most people are saying about narcissistic tendencies or behaviors is that these individuals cannot change. I am not in disagreement that a person who is unwilling to look at themselves and unwilling to change can change. Of course, it's very unlikely that a person can change if they're not willing to even look at it. So that's understood. There are many individuals out there, based on what I've seen, that do suffer or struggle with some narcissistic tendencies, and they can change because they do want to change. This message is to encourage you that if you have been looking into it, if you have been curious, if you have been wanting to make a difference that's positive in your life, and you believe that you have some narcissistic tendencies, yes, you can change. And here is how. It's important to understand that with narcissism in general, your feeling center is not going to be similar to most other individuals, especially those who do not have narcissistic tendencies. What I mean by that is that you may not feel sad if someone else is sad. You may not feel empathy. You may not feel compassion. And that's not something that necessarily means that there's something wrong with you. It means that you're built a little bit differently than everyone else. And that's okay. We just want to understand how can we change in a way that's positive without trying to change and feeling like we're not able to change certain things that really are not changeable. For example, your feelings may not change, but your behavior can change. So my challenge for you today is to consider that maybe even in your feelings, you're not going to necessarily feel some certain amount of sadness for someone who you care about. If they're feeling sad, maybe you don't feel sad and you're curious as to why, or you're feeling like there's something wrong with you. There's nothing necessarily wrong with you. That's the point of this message today. What's important that you see is that even if you don't feel those things, you are still able to modify your behavior in a positive way. So say, for example, if a friend of yours just received bad news about something, and they are very upset, and you're looking at them and you're not feeling their feelings in terms of how they're feeling about what's going on. And you might even find yourself feeling a little bit frustrated, or maybe wanting to distance yourself, or at the very least uncomfortable in a way that maybe it even makes you upset or bothered or angry. It's okay that those feelings may naturally come up. But what really matters is, what do you do with this feeling? How do you respond to this feeling? What behavior do you choose? Do you respond in a way where you do distance yourself, or do you lean into it and offer not only kind words, but you offer maybe some support and challenge yourself to think about what might be nice for them to have? Maybe it's just to listen to what they have to say. My challenge for you today, if you believe that you have some narcissistic tendencies, is to, number one, don't lose hope that you can't change just because there are a lot of individuals who are saying that it's impossible for a narcissist to change. This just is not true. You are already on your path to change and to have more positive relationships, to feel more connected with your loved ones. You are already doing that. You're on the path to change. The challenge for you today is to, in moments when maybe you don't feel the feeling that people are feeling around you, and maybe they're feeling sad or compassionate towards something, and maybe again you don't feel that, the challenge is to not judge yourself and accept that maybe you're built different, and that's okay. But really what matters is your behavior. How do you respond to the situation? Do you shut down? Do you avoid? Do you get upset? Do you create chaos? Or do you pause and reflect on the moment and lean into it and see what ways can you add something positive to the situation? Thank you so much for listening. I'm so happy to be here with you again, and I'll see you again soon.